He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us. It is Friday, the 10th day of July, 2009. We have 2 hours and 52 minutes left in this worldwide broadcast. We are now into the second hour. I'm here live Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. I come back live Sundays 4 to 6 p.m. for an abbreviated transmission, Central Standard Time as well. The websites are Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Okay, in the news, years ago we made films talking about how the IMF, the World Bank, the Council on Foreign Relations were openly calling for world government and a new global currency and a carbon tax we're going to pay to the private banks. And we get called conspiracy theorists. But now there's hundreds of articles a week. Hundreds. If you just go to Google and type in world currency and click news, there's hundreds this week in the news section. Forget the web. This is just everywhere. This is just happening all over. And so we're going to go over that coming up here. Medvedev, the Russian president, the protege of Putin, the prime minister, unveils new world currency coin. Now, I mean, I've got Money Magazine from 1989 calling for the world currency. I mean, this is a fact. This is happening. And then I've got AP, Reuters, LA Times. I mean, just today. Here's the LA Times for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers. You can check it out for yourself. So we're going to be going over that. We're going to be going over calls to restrict the free press and, quote, certify blogs and media, the hate crimes bill, the cyberbullying bill. That is all coming up. But first, I want to take some of your phone calls who've been holding since the last hour, people that are patiently holding there, like Anonymous, Joseph, Frank, Vicky, Rich, and others. But I had a caller for stations that just joined us. He was asking about the fact that I've mentioned many times on air that I've had offers at selling out. And some of them have been veiled, others have been overt. But I wear many hats. I wear the hat of a filmmaker. I wear the hat of a syndicated radio host. I wear the hat of a journalist. We've broken a lot of national stories. And so when someone says this is off record, unless it's illegal, what they're telling me, and completely immoral, I don't break that confidence. That's why I'm known as somebody who people hold in confidence. I mean, I know a lot of really huge Hollywood stars, some of the biggest. And it's kind of like when I was like 13, 14, my dad said, the secret to the girls liking you in school is kiss and don't tell. Dads, when you're on fishing trips, tell you these things. And, he told you, don't act desperate with a girl. If you like her, tell her that, but be confident. Kiss and don't tell. Boy, I put that into function. It was certainly a lot of the girls wanted to be kissed because, they wanted me to take them on a date, but they didn't want me to talk about everything that happened on the date. So it's called journalistic sources. And it's the same thing. I've been at the Texas Capitol going back 12 plus years ago and had people like, well, let's just say as high level as you get in the state government, walk over and say, Alex, is this off record? Sure, if you'd like it to be. Look, these slaves don't want your help. And you ought to work with the system. Some of us aren't that bad, but we know the system's corrupt. We work through it, and you just ought to join us. You're a young, smart guy. You ought to play ball with us. One time, I had a very, very famous local Democrat in Texas, a big campaign donor to Bill Clinton, call me up and say, we like your show, and you're a smart guy, and you could move up in Democratic Party politics. You're good looking, you're smart. I guess this was in about 97. I was on the radio and local cable TV. And he said, you ought to quit bashing Bill Clinton, and you ought to know what a great guy he is, and you ought to come over to some of our meetings and, get involved with us. And then about a month later, I went on and bashed Bill Clinton a bunch more and called him a criminal and stuff and played video of him with the Chinese general shaking their hands. And I got this threatening phone call. The guy had my home number. My home number was the cable TV hotline number. People, comment line. I was in a little apartment. And the guy called up saying, "You've done it now. I can't believe you did that." So, that's an example right there. Or you have a radio executive of one of the big three syndicators, isn't even really around today. I guess this is like in 1997. Fly into Austin and take me out to eat at a local Chinese food restaurant and say, "Alex, do you want to be on a crusade, which is going nowhere? You're not going to get put on a bunch of stations. You're not going to get your word out. You're just going to probably not end up not even being on radio because, stations get bought and sold, and you're lucky to even be on the air locally. That's really hard to do. Or do you want to be a big star? No more black helicopters, no more Federal Reserve." And I said, "Is this an offer at a payoff?" And he said, "No, this is the way the world works. You're talented, you have incredible radio presence, you reach out and grab people, and you deserve producers and support, and you could make $1 million in the first year. You could be the next Rush Limbaugh." And of course, I knew they'd done this to 100 young punks. I wasn't being deluded by this, but the money was offered, and I said, "Thanks, but no thanks." And they couldn't believe it. And then I had other meetings with other radio people who weren't even that big, and there were similar offers. But standing up for the Second Amendment, not losing the deer rifle that my dad's dad gave him, that my dad gave me. The equivalent of a sword that had been passed down. I cared more about that sword than about all the money in the world. Do you understand that? I don't want to lose that. I care more about my children. I didn't know why I was the way. I've learned more about instincts and what makes us tick. But I cared more about my children than I hadn't even had yet. And their future generations. I love them all. And I want them to exist. I know what we do now at this key crossroads controls the destiny of humanity. We can't hand over that responsibility to these tyrants and control freaks. These people that are very, very spiritually broken and weak and corrupt. And so I turned that down. And I've been offered a couple national TV shows. But the way these get offered is you get contacted, and this is what we want you to do, and we want you to kind of be a clown, and we'll put you on national TV. And I go, I'm not really interested in that. And then production companies go, okay, well, we'll do it according to how you'd like to do it. And then they pitch that and they say no. So, I don't even care now. I think I've had 3 or 4 national production companies call me to pay me to go do pilots and even do it my way. I'm being offered TV shows and I'm not even calling them back. I'm like, nah, I don't even want it. Because I don't even want to go fly around on planes and be with these Hollywood people and film a bunch of stuff and then they'll try to go sideways on me and make me look stupid. Then I get in a big fight and, politically, frankly, I don't even want the work. I want to just make my films my way, do it my way, even though it's not perfect, and do my little radio show. And frankly, I dream of seeing the South Pacific, seeing the stars from the Southern Hemisphere. I dream of going to Europe. I dream of going to Egypt. I want to go to Africa. I've got a wanderlust. I just dream of fishing and swimming in underground cenotes and aquifers, skin diving in the aquifers around here. I don't even want to let people know there's all these cenotes, as they're called in Mexico, here in Texas. It'll be too crowded when I try to go to them. It's been years since I've even gotten to go to one. It's nothing like swimming around in those caves with lights shining down and the big fish and snapping turtles that are in them, and it's just heaven. Getting down on the side of a cypress bank and eating a bologna and cheese sandwich while your kids play with boats and little toy boats. just the heat and the crickets and the bugs and the buzz. It's just totally, but then when I get in one of those places, my soul opens up, my humanity opens up, and I want to go warn people about the New World Order. And then I can't be there anymore, and I have to, I haven't in years been able to even enjoy nature, and I have to stumble back out up the cliffs, to the car parking lot and drive back and start trying to warn people. And then I overwork and do it half-ass and go in all these different directions. And I just, all I can tell you, folks, is this is real. The New World Order is real. And I am making a sacrifice to be here doing this. I am sick of this. Man, I got so many stacks of news and corruption and evil